Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Power of the Primes Swoop. Now, I'm really actually happy that they came out with the rest of the Dinobot team. Yeah, we've got different versions of Grimlock here and there over the years, but never the rest of the Dinobot crew. And I'm also happy that they kind of fulfilled an old fan fiction desire of mine of having these guys combined together. Yeah, I know they never combined together in the original Generation 1 cartoon, but I always thought like, hey, the Stunticons are combined of all car groups, and the Aerobots are all jet groups, and Devastator's a bunch of construction vehicles. Why not all the dinosaurs combined together? But I always just chalk that up to fan fiction or fan theory or a fan wish. But I'm actually happy that they kind of made it so with these particular guys. And I really do like Swoop. He's actually one of my favorite Dinobots other than Grimlock. I would say he's probably my second favorite. I really also like the coloring on this guy with the extra little blue right here. It just helps kind of break up with the red of the other guys. And it makes you think that he is the more friendly of the Dinobots, which he kind of actually is. I also like the little detailing on his head. You got that nice head crest right here. It kind of also reminds you of the little Pietro Power or Titan's Returns guy, which is actually what Swoop is, or he's supposed to be modeled off of Swoop. There's a lot of nice detailing right here on his wings as well. You can see all the little electronics. It really harkens back to that classic Generation 1 look. I even like the paint detail right here on his leg to show the extra electronics going down. He's just a really nice figure. The only downside on this guy, though, however, there is, with all the good, there is a little bit of down, is the wings themselves. They do get in the way of his articulation with his arms, so you can't move them back to the side too much. They are just kind of stuck right there as this little bit of kibble that's off to the side. It would have been nice if there was one extra little joint right here so they could kind of fold back and out of the way, but I guess that's kind of okay. And anyways, as I've said before, he has a nice range of articulation with his head and a nice ball joint. You can move side to side, down a little bit, and not so much up though. He has a nice ball joint right here for his shoulder, bicep swivel, and elbow bend as well. There should be a little bit of waist articulation right here, but because of his beak going down, it does kind of get locked into place. You can kind of move the beak of his Dinobot mode up like so and get some nice rotation right in there. However, yeah, it just kind of locks into place. There's some nice, there's a hip joint right here, thigh swivel, knee bend, and I guess a little bit of ankle articulation if you really wanted to, but that's pretty much it. Now he does come with, like, I guess, two or three weapons. He comes with his classic, knocked him all the way over. He comes with his classic sword right here, which could fit in his hand. Now, it can't actually fit right here on the side. I mean, it could, it just sticks out way to the side. I wish there was one more peg right here, so if you didn't want to have him holding his sword, you can actually just kind of peg it right here on the side. However, it just fits right here on his hand. And as you kind of, if any of you kind of remember, the Dinobots were more melee fighters. They had a few swords and axes along with their blasters. Now you can take the actual fist of Volcanus here, move that little joint around like so, and you can actually fit it in his hand right here. So you could have it as some sort of big bludgeoning weapon, or you can actually fit it right here on the side, and it actually forms a shield, which makes a little bit more sense with when he has like a little sword right here. It's like something you can actually block hits with. Now, then another nice thing too is, well, I guess I should point out two different things. Move this all the way around like so. There are these little notches right here on the little thumbs of the Volcanus fist, and they actually fit right into these little notches right here on the side of Swoop's head. So that way you can actually have it stick right here on his chest, and remove this little clear plastic part, and that's where you're going to put any of the little Prime Masters. So when they want to get powered up by the power of the Primes, kind of like putting the Matrix in there or whatever, that's where you go and put them so they could get powered up. Now this little clear piece, you can see, has a nice little amount of detail on it as well, and I don't know if it's coming across, but there is supposed to be a little barrel sculpted in there. So this does act as another little gun. However, for me, it's ridiculously undersized. It's almost kind of like a little Derringer compared to these giant robots. And because it's clear plastic with these particular guys, I'm probably going to keep it mostly in the Terminus fist right here, because I don't want that to get broken and I don't want it to get lost. Now, other than actually having it right here on the side of his arm, you can actually fit it right here on his back. Oh, he's falling over again. The little pegs right here also fit right here into these little notches right here on his back. You do have to have the wings kind of out at an angle rather as opposed to just straight out to the side. Get those right in here. But it does fit in here really nicely. and it gives him just a little bit more of a weight on his back, so he's not so front heavy. Doesn't always want to stay on. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. And so there, he's just, it's kind of out of the way. You don't really see it. All he has is his nice little sword, and his arm is actually free right here. Oh, I'm going to move his little wings back just so it's out of the way. Just a little bit more. And it doesn't take up too much room, or it's not too unsightly from looking at it as the back. Not like a Slug where he's just completely back heavy. Swoop is an overall nice figure, other than, like I said, the wings. There's not really much else to say about his robot mode, so let's go ahead and get him into his Dinobot mode next. Alright, now to get Swoop here into his robot mode, we're going to start off by taking his head and moving that up, just so it's kind of out of the way. Next up, I'm going to take his arms, fold them in like so, and then we're going to want to rotate them around, and there's this little tab right here that's going to fit right in this little slot right here on his waist. So just kind of fit that right here on the side, and do that for the other arm as well. Rotate that around so his legs are kind of nice and out of the way. Next, we're going to take his wings, move them all the way out like so, just so he has a nice sweeping wingspan. Take his legs, make sure that they're folded together, move his feet all the way up like so, and then we're going to take his legs back here. These legs always want to come apart on me. It's something about these combiner guys. Alright, don't worry, these little tabs right here are going to fit right into these little notches right here, and it's going to hold into place really well. So we're just going to take this up here, make sure those fit right into place. Then we're going to take his pterodactyl legs, move them all the way around, get those into place. Now, it does say you could actually move them back like so, so if you want to have his head up like this for when he's flying, or you could actually kind of just move them forward and he can kind of just be chilling right here, like he's kind of perched someplace. However, he is very front heavy, so he will want to fall over. Most likely you're going to want to keep his legs flat, and so he's kind of up just like this. So if he's just chilling with the rest of the Dinobots, yeah, there you go. I really do like his actual Dinobot mode. It really harkens back to that classic Generation 1 look with the blue, the red, and the silver. And it's just very neat. Now, another thing I like too is actually they have these little slots right here on the Volcanus hand mode, so you can actually take it and fit it right here on these little slots right there. Otherwise, there's really no other place to actually stick it. There are no other little holes for you to lock it into place, and it just actually helps make it look like, yeah, it's a little bit more top heavy for what is supposed to be an aerodynamic flying robot, but it just makes it seem like he has a little backpack on his back. Another cool feature too for his sword, so that's not also so you can either like kind of hold it right here in his Volcanus's hand. He has this blade sticking out, or you could pretend it's some sort of antenna. But what I really like is actually added a little hole right here on his mouth, and there's a little peg right here, so you can actually have it right under his mouth, so if he's ready to swoop in, he can kind of stab people or slide or shoot energy bolts out of it, whatever your imagination wants. I really do like Swoop. He's actually one of my favorite Dinobots other than Grimlock. So I'm really happy that they actually came out with these guys. There's not really much else to say about him in his Dinobot mode, so let's go ahead and get him into his leg mode next. Alright, now to get Swoop here into the leg mode of Volcanus, we're going to take his legs and move them all the way back like so. Then take this part of his back and move this all the way around, almost like we're getting him back into robot mode. We're going to take his feet and move them out like so. Next, we're going to take his legs, split them apart. Oh, I want to make sure his head's up right here. Move this part of his legs out, and you can see there's a little hinge right here, so you could just fold up and around. You could do it on both sides. And then just move these pieces back together, snap them into place. Then take his head, move his head all the way forward like so. Then take his wings, fold them down like this, then move them in. And there's going to be a little tab right here that's going to fit in the little slot right here. So we might need to rotate his wings down, snap those into place. Then we're going to take this joint right here for the leg. Oh, get that out. Why is it not wanting to come out? There we go. Move that up and around, and there, he's ready to become the leg of Volcanus. And there's not really much else to really show about this guy, because the foot part actually comes with Grimlock, which I don't actually have just yet. So, yeah, this is all there is to this particular part of the transformation. Alright, now to get Swoop here into the arm mode of Volcanus, we're going to start off by moving his legs all the way around like so. And then take his actual robot legs and move them all the way down, almost like we're getting him back into his robot mode transformation. Move his feet down like so, because that's where the fist is actually going to go. Next, we're going to take his actual robot arms and then move those in. And you can see there's a little tab right here that's going to fit into this little slot right there. And that's going to hold his arms right into place. There we go. Get that on both sides. Get that in there. Why is it not wanting to fit on this side? Dang it. There we go. Next we're going to take his wings, fold them down like so. And we're going to want to fit these little tabs right in onto these little notches right here. I hope you can see that. So we're going to need to move his wings down like so. Fit those into place. There we go. Then we're going to take his head and move that all the way forward, because that's going to free up this joint back here to actually slide out. Then we're going to want to take his legs, move them all the way around like so, so you could get this nice elbow joint right here for when he actually becomes the arm. And then just take the hand of Volcanus, move that little peg down like so, stick it in. Dang it, these parts always want to come apart on me. Just get that right in there. Come on. It's a nice tight fit, so that's actually pretty good. And there you go. He's now ready to become the arm of Volcanus. And as you can see, the legs want to separate apart, as with most of these combiner guys. Sadly, I don't know if I want to have swoop as an actual leg component. I'll have to see how some of the other guys form the arms, but I might need to get a little rubber band to actually hold this guy into place for if I want him to be the arm mode. Other than that, it's actually pretty solid. However, the wings are probably going to get in the way of most of the articulation, so I might actually leave the wings out a little bit more, so just so I could get a little bit better range of articulation for when he's actually becoming the arm. There's not really much else to say about this guy. That's pretty much him in his arm mode and him overall. You're going to have to wait and see how all these guys look together when it forms Volcanus. Anyways, this has been a look at Transformers, Power of the Primes, Swoop.
Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.